The Chicago Bulls take a tough loss to the New York Knicks. We'll be talking about the key takeaways from tonight's game. This is your host, Rico Greenhowe, and you have found yourself on another episode of Bulls Digest. And so today we are looking at this most recent loss for the Chicago Bulls as they get beat 113 to 111. They had a chance to send it into double overtime, but were unable to hit the shot there at the end. So a tough loss for the Chicago Bulls. And so before we go ahead and jump into the key takeaways from tonight's game, wanted to remind you that 67.2% of you that watch are not subscribed to the channel. So make sure that you go ahead and you mash on that subscribe button, as it means a lot to us as we try to reach our end of the season subscriber goal. And so with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into tonight's box score and just really take a look at what the key takeaways were from tonight's game. And so wanted to start with the MVP of the night. I think that goes to Josh Giddey. I think that Josh Giddey had a very good game, especially down the stretch. I think that he started off slow because he got a bunch of rebounds in the first half. I think he had 8 rebounds, and then he really picked it up from a scoring standpoint in the third and fourth quarter to finish with 27 points. He had 16 rebounds, only 4 assists. I think he was hunting a bit more for the shot tonight. Was a +7. He had 1 block. He had 1 steal, 11 of 18 from the field, 4 of 6 from downtown. So feeling very confident shooting the 3-ball today. Did have 4 turnovers, but Josh Giddey was the best player on the court for the Chicago Bulls tonight. He played very well. So next up, the next player that definitely want to give some credit to in tonight's game, and look, he's my second MVP of the night, and that is Lonzo Ball. Because look, Lonzo had been out due to an illness, and look, I think that his impact was definitely felt on the court. He definitely helped settle the offense out there. He had 14 points, he had 4 rebounds, he had 4 assists, he was +5, had a chance to hit a big shot late, just missed it. But more importantly, he's an MVP tonight because he played 30 minutes tonight. So that is huge for Lonzo Ball. I think that has been quite the story with his comeback, and so it's good to see that yet again Lonzo has a good game, and he also had a dunk in this game too. Caught a beautiful lob from Ayo. And so next I want to talk about just the rest of the players in tonight's game, and starting with Ayo. And so look, I think that Ayo played some very good defense, especially on Jalen Brunson. I think he made it very difficult for him, especially when the Bulls were climbing back into the game. I like the defensive adjustment, so to speak. So I'll give Billy Donovan some credit there for going ahead and kind of running a little bit of a blitz right there off of the pick and roll. So that slowed down the Knicks. And he had 5 points today, talking about Ayo. He also had 3 assists in this one, 5 rebounds. He had a steal, but he was -16. Really couldn't get it going offensively, but defensively, you could feel his presence tonight. But more importantly, he went down, it looked like, with a wrist injury late. Definitely something that he immediately wanted to come out of the game, and so hopefully he is going to be okay. But that is the update there with Ayo. And so next up with Vooch. And so look, Vooch hit a tough 3-point shot to give us a chance to get into overtime. Got the ball in the post today. I think he should have got it some more. He had 21 points. He also had 9 rebounds in this one. He had an assist. He had a block as well. But I mean, you see 21 shots. And so that's the most engaged I think that I've seen Vooch in quite some time here. So that was good to see. 3 of 5 from 3, but look, it was a tough one for Vooch down the stretch as he missed a fadeaway shot. But then again, I mean, it was tough defense, and then he was also given the ball late in the clock, and so it was a tough shot there. So pretty decent one from Vooch. I think he was more engaged in tonight's game. Next up, Coby White. So look, Coby White, 11 points. He had 6 assists. He's going to finish in the plus-minus box score in tonight's game, +3. He also had 2 rebounds. He had a block shot, but he was only 5 of 11 tonight, 1 of 3 from 3. and he played 41 minutes, and you can really tell that he just wasn't that impactful tonight. I'm not sure if he just it just didn't flow tonight for Coby White. I just can't really place what it was tonight. I just kind of felt just out of sync, with the team tonight, and I think that he was given the effort. And that last play in which we were trying to get to another overtime, I think that he just probably overthought that play a little bit. Maybe should have just driven to the rim. Perhaps would have got some contact. Maybe Vooch is able to clean that up. But, it just was unfortunate there towards the end. But I just think it was a little bit of a struggle from Coby White. Just again, man, he just felt or looked kind of uncomfortable out there in tonight's game. And so next up, Modest Buzelis. And so I think with Modest Buzelis, for me, I think that was probably the most disappointing thing I would say with Modest, because I know he struggled offensively, but he only played 24 minutes, and he was yanked out of the game after a mistake, and he really sat for some time. And so I think it was disappointing because, look, we are a team that is trying to figure out what we are going to do with this roster. Obviously we have a ton of decisions to make, in the offseason and moving forward with this team. And it's a long way away from getting to just being a contender. And Modest Buzelis is a player that is going to be a part of that future. I've said that before, that he's absolutely going to be a part of impacting winning for this team. And so the only way to give him a chance to develop is you need to play him. So I think that that was disappointing. Wanted to see Billy Donovan make that adjustment, but clearly you see that the Chicago Bulls are geared towards winning games here, and that is what happens when it comes down to player development. So unfortunate in tonight's game, he did get 7 rebounds, 5 points. You wanted to see him play more, even in a struggling effort on the offensive end. And so next up, going to the bench, and so we lose Jalen Smith due to an injury. He was guarding Karl Anthony Towns. He's spinning is Karl Anthony Towns. He runs into him. He goes down. It looks like a concussion. Didn't look good there. And so it looks like he just kind of ran into his shoulder there. And so that was tough to see. So Jalen Smith left the game early. Patrick Williams was out. We knew that. Dalen Terry did not get any minutes in tonight's game. I thought that Julian Phillips did play well, 12.6 rebounds, very active, +7, 23 minutes. Good to see after not getting very much minutes or just not playing. And so this is what I'm talking about. You need to evaluate him, and then also to Modest Buzelis. Those players need to be out there more if they're going to be a part of your future. And so next up, looking at Kevin Huerter. And so Kevin Huerter, he did knock down some shots in tonight's game. He knocked down some 3-point shots. He was 3 of 9 overall. He had 9 points in this one. The impact, I didn't necessarily feel it as much. I mean, he played 19 minutes in this game. It just looks like that Kevin Huerter is just trying to find his way here. And, he just looks like he's trying to find his rhythm in the offense, much like Coby White out there. And so interesting decision. He played 19 minutes. Again, I would have liked to see some more minutes maybe allocated to some of the players that, again, I think the Bulls need to evaluate more. Speaking of players to evaluate, Tre Jones. And so Tre Jones, look, he's played solid, and I think he played solid. Again, he's showing you that he can absolutely be a point guard that you can count on from a backup standpoint, maybe borderline starter if there's an injury or whatnot. But the issue here is that there's so many guards on the team, but he had 5 points in this one, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. And I just like that he's continued to really take steps since game 1, and I think he's getting better out there. And so that was good to see with Tre Jones. I think he played pretty well in 13 minutes. And then Zach Collins, look, played in 15 minutes, and I think that he was pretty impactful in the sense that he didn't score a whole bunch of points. He had 2, but I think defensively, the energy was there. I like the fact that he was trapping, being active and things like that. That's something that we don't necessarily get with Vooch, and so you get a little bit more maybe speed at the center position with Zach Collins. And with Jalen Smith going down, he most certainly he is going to get some more minutes in the roster moving forward, in the lineup moving forward, I should say. And so next up, I wanted to go ahead and jump into the box score. And so with the box score. Just looking at some of the key takeaways from that. Look, the Bulls, they get out-rebounded by the Knicks 54-53 in this one. Turnovers 15-13 as far as the Bulls and turnovers. In fact, they turned the basketball over a little bit, or actually quite a bit, actually, in the overtime. I think it was 3 straight, if I'm not mistaken. It was either that or the fourth quarter. But, they just got into some situations where they turned the basketball over. Next up, fast breaks. And so the Knicks 17-8 as far as the fast breaks are concerned. The Knicks were out and running throughout this game when they could. Next up, points in the paint. The Knicks 48-40 in this one. 10-6 as far as Knicks in steals, 7-6 Knicks in block shots there. And then as far as the Bulls, as far as assists to field goals, 24 assists to 41 field goal makes. I think neither team really shot the basketball very well, and I think the Knicks really dictated the way that the game was played as far as the pace. And so I definitely think that impacted the Bulls. They shot 39.8% from the field, 39.6% from 3. You had the Knicks, they shot better from the field at 43.3, and then when you look at their three-point percentage at 30.4% from 3. And so anyway, the Knicks win this game. And I think that this was just a tough situation for the Bulls because they were in this one, just couldn't pull it out. And I just think that it's unfortunate that, we did not see some more of modest Buzelis. And I think that this is probably going to be the challenge, I think, for some of these younger players that need to get developed, especially if you have, Billy Donovan is trying to win these games and things like that. It's going to cost just the player development here. And so let me know in the comments what you think here about this most recent loss for the Chicago Bulls as they get beat by the Knicks. Did you want to see some more player development? Or, hey, are you still looking to go for the play-in or whatever else we're looking to run into? So anyway, let me know in the comments what you're thinking. And as I always say, go Bulls, and I will see you on the next one. All right, peace.